For over a century, there was one company that didn't just shape the American landscape, it pretty much built it. A corporate titan so powerful, it seemed absolutely invincible. Well, this is the story of its spectacular collapse. So, what on earth happened to General Electric? I mean, how could a company that defined industrial might for generations just come apart? And believe it or not, that's exactly what happened. On April 2nd, 2024, after 132 years, the General Electric the world knew was gone. To understand how this titan fell, we have to go way back, right to the very beginning. So let's start with its legendary origins. We're talking about an era where titans of industry were literally forging the modern world as we know it. You know, the names involved here are almost mythical. In 1889, you've got the genius of Thomas Edison, backed by the financial power of J.P. Morgan, merging their electricity companies. By 1892, another merger officially creates General Electric. And get this, just 4 years later, it's already so foundational to American industry that it becomes one of the original 12 companies on the brand new Dow Jones Industrial Average. And GE quickly became so much more than a lighting company. It became the engine of innovation. I mean, from its legendary research labs came the materials for the first jet engines, the technology behind X-rays and MRI machines, and even the plastics you use every day. It built power plants and locomotives, and through its ownership of NBC, it broadcast right into our homes. If you lived in the 20th century, you lived in GE's world. This brings us to GE's golden age, a time when it wasn't just a successful company, it was the company. Just try to wrap your head around this number, $601 billion. In the summer of 2000, that was GE's market value, making it the most valuable company on the planet by a huge margin. It was a symbol of untouchable corporate power. The company's influence was immense. Under its legendary CEO, Jack Welch, GE's management style became the gold standard, studied in boardrooms around the globe. But here's the catch. That philosophy, with its relentless demand for smooth, ever-increasing profits, also planted the seeds of the company's downfall, pushing it deeper and deeper into the world of finance just to meet those expectations. But you know what they say, what goes up must come down. So let's move to the turning point, where the cracks in this massive empire began to show. The big turning point was the 2008 financial crisis. See, for years, a huge portion of GE's profit didn't come from building jet engines, but from its massive finance division, GE Capital. It had basically become a bank disguised as an industrial company, and it was deeply involved in everything from subprime mortgages to commercial real estate. So when the global economy melted down, that division was exposed as a massive risk that nearly took the entire company with it. You know, the company's stock chart tells the whole story. You see decades of steady, relentless growth, hitting an unbelievable peak in 2000, followed by a fall that was just as dramatic and devastating, erasing hundreds of billions of dollars in value and wiping out the savings of countless investors. And the numbers behind that fall are just staggering. In 2007, right before the crisis, GE booked a profit of over $22 billion. Just over a decade later, it posted a loss of nearly $23 billion. That's a $45 billion swing, driven by massive write-downs on disastrous acquisitions and the ugly truth that the financial engineering that had propped up profits for years was totally unsustainable. The fallout was brutal. To survive, GE was forced to sell off its soul, piece by piece. The iconic appliances business, gone. The locomotive division, sold. Its dividend, a symbol of stability for so many, was cut to a single penny. And then, in a final symbolic blow, after 122 years, it was kicked off the Dow Jones Industrial Average it had helped create. All of this led to a final, historic decision that would officially mark the end of the General Electric conglomerate. The company's leaders realized the old GE was just too big, too complex, and frankly, too broken to fix. The only way forward was to break it apart, creating 3 new, smaller, more focused companies. And this is what remains,
Out of the ashes rose three new entities. You've got GE Aerospace, the legal successor, focusing on its powerful jet engine business. Then there's GE Healthcare, spun off in 2023, continuing its work in medical technology. And finally, GE Vernova, launched in 2024, now holds the company's energy portfolio.
So, the story of the original General Electric is over. But it leaves us with one final, really fascinating question. For a company that wants to find the future, can its individual pieces, now separate and independent, find a way to build a new and lasting legacy of their own?